Barakatah Yahweh, Barakatah Yahweh Barakatah Yahweh, Barakatah Yahweh Shah, Ba'ashem, Rakakwadash. Double honor to the apostles, the elders. Salutations to you, sincere brothers, teaching in truth and in sincerity. This lesson will be entitled Dark Days Are Approaching by Source Natural News. This article is entitled Beef Prices Surge 20% Due to Inflation and Endless Money Printing, published November 19th, 2021. Beef prices in the U.S. are soaring largely due to uncontrolled inflation and endless money printing by the federal government, according to the Consumer Price Index of the Department of Labor's Bureau of Labor Statistics. Beef prices in October rose by 20.1% compared to the same month last year. Of the many products listed in the CPI, the only other item whose price inflated more than beef was unleaded gasoline. Related, beef and chicken set to become luxuries as inflation pushes food prices even higher. All meat prices are up, but beef prices are up disproportionately higher than the rest of the protein prices, said Arun Sundaram, an analyst for CFRA, a financial research company. Reckless spending and endless money printing have to stop. The surge in the price of everyday food items like beef proves that the federal government's ideal that inflation is temporary is wrong. Larry Kudlow, former director of the National Economic Council for former President Donald Trump, pointed out that CPI is following the Producer Price Index, an index that measures how much domestic producers charge for their goods and services. When two indexes are moving up in tandem, that strongly suggests a deep-rooted inflation problem. Sometimes producer prices jump, but they are not passed on to consumers, said Kudlow. But now that the prices hikes are being passed on to consumers, Kudlow believes this trend suggests that the Federal Reserve is printing too much money, which is exacerbating the inflation crisis and causing the price hikes to continue. Kudlow admitted that money printing is not the only reason inflation is uncontrollable. Shortages and supply chain problems are also causing prices to surge, but he pointed out that this crisis clearly goes beyond the supply chain problems. There are no geniuses in crystal ball forecasting, but numbers like today really suggest we have too much money chasing too few goods, he said. And inflation is becoming embedding in our economy, and that suggests it may well be higher and longer than a whole lot of people, including myself, might have thought 5 or 6 months ago. So it's getting worse. As I often say, put aside the politics, just look at the numbers, and they are not good. And inflation works like this. The more money you print off, or the more money you inject into the economy, the money that is currently circulating within the economy is being devalued. And therefore, prices will continue to soar. White House not planning to do anything about food price increases. In a recently released brief, the White House claimed that President Joe Biden understands that families have been facing higher prices at the grocery store recently. This further proves that the government wants to control people. But this brief blame the inflation crisis on supply and demand issues and the fact that around 82% of the nation's beef production is controlled by just for corporations. The White House claimed that this stifling of competition is resulting in record inflation. You see how they get down, being the devil. No mention was made of the Fed's nonstop printing of new dollars, and this is what's promoting inflation. The continuance of money printing. It weakens the existing dollar within the economy. Instead of pledging sensible solutions to the inflation crisis, such as controlling the federal government's rampant spending and reining back the Fed's money printing, the White House said it will enforce antitrust laws to battle anti-competitive prices in the meat industry. Now remember, president means first servant, to whom the nobility of Edom, the international bankers. It should be noted that enforcing the nation's laws is something that Biden and his administration are already supposed to be doing. Jeremiah 51 and verse 8. Babylon is suddenly fallen and destroyed. And this is referring to after America has been nuked. Okay? America is modern day Babylon. How for her? Take balm for her pain. If so, be she may be healed. And symbolically, how the feds are continuing to print off money. This is an example of that bomb. And like Kudlow stated, by the feds' continuance of printing out this money is promoting inflation. Let's go to Ecclesiastes 12 and verse 3. And the day when the keepers of the house shall tremble. The keepers of the house, referring to your economists. And the strong men shall bow themselves, and the grinders cease because they are few, and those that look out of the windows be darkened. Meaning what? Dark days are approaching. Verse 4, and the door shall be shut in the streets when the sound of the grinding is low, no jobs. And he shall rise up at the voice of the bird, and all the daughters of music shall be brought low. Isaiah 55 and verse 11, so shall my word be that go forth out of my mouth. It shall not return unto me void, but it shall accomplish that which I please, and it shall prosper in the thing whereto I sent it. And at this time frame, the Most High is working on the left-hand side to destroy the economy of America. All right, and this is going into that great reset, referring to the new world order. All right, Esau wants total control, but he's only going to get so far. Lord will, you're edified. Shalom.